especially for you to all those who are having your meals. After you've had your meals, please come and take your seats in front. We are about to start in 2 minutes. எனது அன்புமிக்க பெரியவர்களுக்கும் சிறியவர்களுக்கும் என் உள்ளம் கலந்த வணக்கம் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். My humble வணக்கம், நமஸ்காரம் and namaste and good evening to dear elders, ladies and gentlemen. We've come together for one purpose, and that is to join the Moonsamy family in this 50th night memorial, 30th night memorial prayer for their wife, mother, aunt, cousin, the late Jaya Moonsamy. It's a very important prayer, and more importantly, we need to give the soul the respect and dignity so much it deserves. We can accomplish that by maintaining absolute silence during the Sabbath prayer. In the first half of the service, we'll be singing songs praising our Christian deities. In the second half of the prayer, we'll be singing songs from the Pehwara Rupa, at which time we'll ask you to come forward and offer your Devarada. After you've come forward and offered your prayer, please go back and be seated very quietly until we bring this prayer service to a very dignified conclusion. With that, dear elders, will kindly rise for your prayer.
கடவுள் தோன்ற சொன்னார்
Love. మేలుకో శ్రీ రమా. మేలుకో శ్రీ రమా. elders, ladies and gentlemen, before we go on to the second half of this prayer, we have two tributes. First, we would like to call upon Mr. Jaya to come forward and pay tribute.
Amongst the different forms of sorrow we endure in life, there is no greater sorrow that one feels than the loss of a close, dear loved one. It is an inevitable fact of life that the very same bonds, friendships, and family ties that bring us so much joy, pleasure, and enjoyment are also ultimately the very source of so much pain, sorrow, and tears when these bonds and ties are subjected to God's calling. For just as we without question embrace and enjoy life with all its joys, we have to deal with sorrow as God intended. The program director, family, friends, children, and members of the Bimuru family, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskaram, and greetings to all of you. We gather here today to pay tribute and celebrate the life of a very special person, the late Mrs. Jaya Moonsamy. The sacred tirukkural is a treasure house of matters pertaining to divine virtues, moral issues, and matters pertaining to birth and death. And I quote, "A cheerful countenance, charity, sweet words, and humility, all these characterize women of noble birth. A person who leads an ideal life on earth will be ranked with the gods in heaven," unquote. Because of my long association with Jaya, I believe I am in a position to declare that she did indeed live a perfect life on earth, and I am convinced that she is now one with the gods in heaven. Like so many of us here, with roots in the poverty of the sugarcane plantations and the meager resources that was available whilst living in New Farm and in the sugarcane barracks, this did not stop us from living an accomplished life. The fact that so many of us have assembled here today bears testimony to a life well lived by Mrs. Jaya Moonsamy. As we commemorate and celebrate the life and accomplishment of late Jaya, let us trace the life of this amazing soul, now at peace with the gods in heaven. A favorite story to us was how sparks flew in a school bus in which a certain Krish also traveled coincidentally, and before he knew it, they were married in 1970 and enjoyed 55 years of marital bliss. God blessed them with 4 children, Clive, Calvin, Kathy, and Renee. She is survived by son-in-law Segi, daughters-in-law Michelle and Yvonne, and 9 beautiful grandchildren, a source of so much joy. It is commonly accepted that a life lived in uplifting the lives of those around him or her is a spiritual experience. The late Jaya did exactly this. She was able to connect easily with people of all ages, constantly bubbling with energy and having so much love and laughter to share with all around her. She went on with the business of life enthusiastically and, more importantly, happily. She had a rare quality of being able to give her full attention to everyone she was communicating with every time, not for any half-hearted measures. The late Jaya's devotion to her life partner Krish, their children, grandchildren, and son and daughters-in-law is beyond question. Loving all equally, she was at the peak of her happiness when she had her family with her during special gatherings. Her birthday always fell on Christmas Day, and that always made it that much more special. Being married to a senior brother in the Beaver family meant that the responsibility fell on her to welcome into the family the partners of the younger siblings. Being a people's person, she cherished this task, and the fact that the extended family is so closely bonded as we see today is largely due to the late Jaya's personality and magnetic character. She carried the same energy to the Shri Perumal Temple and the Senior Citizens League, of which she was a member for many years. Being a live wire of the organization, she enjoyed the companionship of her colleagues and eagerly awaited the weekly gathering and spent much energy in organizing fun activities for her colleagues. Their laughter and smiles will be sorely missed at these gatherings. We rest easy knowing that Jaya, in her own way, has left all of her colleagues with beautiful memories and much to smile about when they reflect on her life. The late Jaya enjoyed traveling overseas and having an adventurous character. She loved the thrill of meeting people and sharing her experiences with them. As far as possible, she ensured that she had as many of her family and even friends with her on these trips. Krishni and I were fortunate enough to have had Jaya and Krishni accompany us on a tour of South India a few years ago. She displayed the same zest for life overseas as she did locally. So, what are some of life's lessons that we can learn from the manner in which Jaya conducted her life over almost 8 decades? A humble heart with a playful spirit. She displayed respect for other people and punctuality. She had an eye for beauty. Trustworthiness was part of her DNA. She possessed the capacity to be clear with others and yet to know what can remain unsaid. She had the capacity and wisdom to know what battles to embrace and which to ignore. She had a role in the family, and she had the willingness to embrace it. She had a place in the community and the willingness to exercise it. I make these conclusions after having associated with Krish and Jaya for over half a century. No matter what age of life she was in, from New Farm to Phoenix to Ottawa and now on Slumber, the late Jaya led her life with humility. She never let her success in so many sectors of life get ahead of her. This is not easily achieved. She ensured communication was the lifeblood of the larger family setup. She always stayed in touch with as many family members and friends. Undoubtedly, Jaya was a multi-talented and served her family, friends, and community well. Her sisterhood was powerful. The qualities that made her modern with free speech and respect for the rights of minorities and the inspiration of a broad tolerance in thought and expression. She always rose to the challenges and displayed a welcome gesture of inclusiveness in the very close and conservative community of Madechka. Despite facing her own challenges in life like all of us, she always remained cheerful. This cheerfulness was a source of strength to family and friends during trying times. On the eve of her passing on to another realm of life, she said to a close family member, and I quote, "Life is short. Enjoy it as best as you can. You never know what tomorrow brings. Don't let negativity get you down." In conclusion, I pray that Jaya's soul finds peace in the divine embrace of God, and may her memory be a blessing to us all. They say loved ones may go, yet their memories will forever be etched and cherished in our hearts. To Jaya, the gentle footprints of kindness that you have left behind will make a lifetime of soft imprints in the hearts of others and will never wash away. May you enjoy your journey in the sea of tranquility. I thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nair, for that very encouraging and fruitful tribute. To come forward and pay tribute, I'll call upon Joyce Moonsamy. She will also pay the word of thanks.
Thank you, Program Director. I know there's a similarity in our names, but I am Joyce Moonsamy. I'm here to read a tribute on behalf of the Montechcombe and Estates Community Association. This tribute goes as this. In loving memory, Ma Jaya lived a life of quiet grace, anchored in simplicity, uplifted by kindness, and woven with love. As a devoted housewife, nurturing mother, cherished grandmother, and steadfast friend, she embodied the gentle strength that holds families together and warms communities. Her heart was vast, her spirit generous. Whether through a comforting meal, a listening ear, or a soft-spoken word of encouragement, Ma offered love without condition or kindness, without measure. She did not seek recognition, yet her presence was a blessing, felt deeply by those fortunate enough to know her. In every role she played, be it at home, among relatives, or with her circle of friends, she radiated humility, warmth, and her legacy is not written in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments that shaped lives, the laughter of grandchildren, the stories shared over tea, the gentle wisdom passed down through generations. She leaves behind a legacy of love that will continue to bloom in the hearts of her family and friends. May her memory be a guiding light, reminding us that life lived with compassion and humility is life truly lived. No, these are not my words, but these words were written by the chairperson of the Montechcombe Estates and Community Association, Selvan Pachi Naika. And thank you. Now, my dear respected elders and friends, family and friends, whilst I have the mic, I've been tasked to pay or to move the vote of thanks on behalf of Kathy, the eldest daughter, due to being emotional. I won't say pleasant task, but I will do it on behalf of her. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of my family, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for being here today. As we celebrate and remember the beautiful life of our beloved mother, who truly lived life to the fullest. She transgressed life with elegance and grace that will be imprinted in our thoughts and memories forever. Your presence means more to us than words can express. It is true, it is a true reflection of love, respect, and the impact she had on so many lives. To our family and friends who have traveled from far and wide, thank you for your comfort, your effort, your time, and your love. To everyone who sent messages, flowers, praise, and kind words, please know how much your support has comforted us during this difficult time. A special thank you to our service group and our bachelor group that's yet to arrive for leading today's service with compassion and grace. Also to the management and staff of this beautiful venue for giving Ma that dignity and this grand send-off. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Your contributions made today are truly meaningful. And to those who stood by us through our grieving, we will never forget your care and kindness. As we say our final goodbye, let us hold on to her lessons, her laughter, and her love, the kindness and giving nature that will forever live in our hearts. Thank you once again for joining us in honoring her memory. May her soul rest in eternal peace. And those of you that plan on traveling after this function, please go home safe. We'd like to see you soon. Thank you very much.
We would now move on to the second half of this prayer, whereby we would like for the immediate family to come first, followed by each and every one of you. Looking at the large number here, I humbly request of you to please come in groups so that we can bring this prayer service to a conclusion on time. Like I've mentioned in the very beginning, after you've come forward and offered your prayer, please go back and be seated very quietly until we bring this prayer service to a very dignified conclusion. The immediate family. We're going to start the service with one prayer. Thereafter we have the Montechcombe Rambajan who will come forward and offer a few items, and we go back to their lives. Ramajan, please come forward.
लक्ष्मीपति नारायण वासुदेवानंद कुमारा नारायण निन्नु नमिति नारायण नन प्रोभो नरधर कृष्ण भूषण विकार श्रीधर्मापुर निवास वर्ष सम्माय नरसम्मा दुर्गदोरा
नारायणे पादं धरावन्तमोलेको
नारायणे पादं धरावन्तमोलेको
नमे पादं
नमे पादं सीतारामा
Namah Shivaya Patti, Namah Will the immediate family please come forward behind the rise of the opening prayer? Close the prayer, sorry. முத்தினி அழியாத மூகரு உயர்ந்தேனே பத்தினி அருளித்து பரவினைகள் பாடுபடும் சித்தமெல்லாம் அருளித்து சிவமாகி என்னை ஆள Dear ladies and gentlemen, once again the Moonsamy family thanks each and every one of you for affording your time and joining them in this prayer. They would like if you can please partake in teas and refreshments, which will be served on my right at the back. For those of you who have not had meals, we also have meals available. Please partake and a safe journey home thereafter. Nandri, Namaskar. You may make your way down to the tea station at the